We're coming out on the farm today. I'm outside here chopping some more wood, and you'll pretty much see that I am bundling up to do outside stuff. So that kind of, what I'll be going into today, it's just kind of sometimes we have tedious stuff on the farm to get to. And, granted, maybe it's not the most exciting and that, we're not building something new. Our lifestyle, we do like to take our time. And I know I've said that in previous videos. And, we definitely like to stay inside and be warm and, not have to bundle up in, ski goggles and my hat and having to step out with the broom. But that sadly is one of the, kind of chores that needs to happen with the Earthship, especially with how we have the windows angled outside. So I'm outside here. It's already kind of starting to come down with the snow. The clouds are coming over us. The storm's coming. And, it's earlier in the morning too. So at 10 or 11 o'clock, so it's still got, we still got a lot of daylight. So it's kind of one thing I had to do was wipe off the panels. And this definitely is not just a one-time deal. This is a reoccurring, kind of chore. That when we get snow, this is usually what happens with the panels, and definitely why I made a video about why I'd never do this kind of style or make this kind of design again, because you can see it's just for me reaching and why having to wipe all the panels off, it just becomes a big pain in the butt. And that goes for the windows as well too. So you can see that the windows do collect snow. And granted, it's never really anything significant, but we do, we'll get drifted in, and it's nothing, ridiculous with the snow load or anything like that. But it definitely does pile up. And out here in Montana, it's a rare occasion that we do get really, heavy snow, heavy wet snow. It's usually pretty fluffy snow. But in this case, it's wet snow this go around here with this storm. So that's definitely why I am preparing for the storm by not trying to have the windows be gathered up, just not piled up full of snow. So it's kind of a reoccurring, and especially kind of makes it more redundant when the addition and it's just the angled windows of the Earthship. So anyone ever considering angled windows for their Earthship or their design, definitely carefully consider, because this is definitely a chore that you're going to have to incur if you live in a snowy area. And we live up here in the mountains of Montana, so and you can definitely see how nice and easy it is with the panel rack there off of the addition. It's just a super easy sweep. I didn't put the panels too high up on that, and that's what I'm going to essentially do with these panels too, as opposed to having them on the pallets. But being raised up off the ground at least a little bit definitely helps keep the snow off of them, and it keeps it from piling up in front of the panels and then making it super icy like it does with the house. So just kind of goes into things we do have to, think about and actually prepare for. So that's a little bit what makes us, you could say preppers in that sense, because of how we live, and, we have to get things ready for when, storms like this come in. We got to make sure animals are doing well. The dogs are part Pyrenees, so they like to just sit out in the snow sometimes. But, that's wiping glass off maybe multiple times a day, to make sure that we're getting the sunlight into the greenhouses to just maximize our solar gain. So that's a super big aspect to think about before storms, and why I'm always watching the weather. And that's just a pretty key thing that's been practiced since we moved off grid. So, and that, that just leads into this other part, where getting ready for the storm, it's a nicer day out. So I had definitely come out to chop a tree, and, we've got all these nice big fat dead trees on our property. So this big tree right here, this is going to last us, damn near 3 weeks. Without, having to go out and chop wood. So that's kind of the sacrifice sometimes I make, is that I will take multiple days to chop, as much wood as I can, or chop one tree and chop, as logs off that I can, and big fat branches, and that's what we feed into the rocket stove. So you can kind of see that, we're not even, we could survive almost a couple weeks just off all these dead branches that are on this tree. So, and then you can see that we've got this big, nice pile of, not even logs. Those are the big fat branches that I was cutting. It took me some time to gather those up. Not actually too much time, but that stack right there will last us a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks, sorry. Oh, don't over exaggerate, but that'll do us a couple days of burning actually. So 2.5 days to be exact. And that was, I had filled that up after I had used these 2 logs, and, kind of was sitting back, getting warm, drinking my tea, but I usually am watching updates and, looking at news, and as well as just researching and investigating, looking at ideas I can get for the season and for the year, and, anything else we can do, permaculture and house design. So that, that's where it's nice kind of, and why too, we prepare, or I prepare in that way, gathering wood, so we can, take our time inside to hang out, get some sweeping done, and also, do some planting. But the big thing that we definitely had to be done was cleaning the windows. So we ended up cleaning the windows for a whole day. That took us a little while of just kind of rearranging everything, and obviously there was still some stuff in the way, so having to maneuver a little bit. And that's kind of the downfall of the Earthship, I will say, is the more windows you put in, that's the more windows you got to clean. So I think that's definitely why it took us a little while, because I'm trying to remember how many windows we do have, because they're not all the same size. So that's kind of the thing when you're working with recycled windows. We've got a sliding glass door for one, and then, freezer doors, and then those other giant window panes. So it's kind of, just these chores with the glass and maintaining the greenhouse. That's what we end up having to think about, is just being prepared, looking at storms, weather systems, and, getting us in that mindset of, getting ready, and at least being, uh, more prepared than having to, run out in the middle of the storm trying to wipe the windows, or anything, or the glass, or chopping wood and stuff like that. So it's all these things just essentially too to make things comfortable for myself and Nika, because once we had cleaned the windows, it was a lot brighter in there. Definitely was getting more solar gain. We don't have any lights on, so, this is all the natural light we're getting from inside of the house, or from outside, from outside, sorry. And that's enough. We've got our aloe plants that are still going. We've got, I forget the vine plant that's inside too. I'll have to ask Nika about that. So, Nika gets to have the enjoyment of watching me sometimes brush the windows off, and it's kind of a cool experience. It's probably better in person, because when it's so dark and dimmed by the snow on the glass, and then when you start wiping them, it's instant, super bright. Your eyes get really squinty, and it's pretty funny and cool at the same time. So, that's our parakeet, our little budgie. So yeah, we do have a tropical bird inside of the house. We've had him for a couple years now. And, we can see spider plants, that, I guess that's kind of the nice thing when I do take the time to prepare, chop wood, then it does give me that break time where I can sit back, relax, we can plant some seeds, and get things growing, and get a head start on the season, even on top of that. So, there's another aspect of preparedness, that we're getting seeds ready and prepared, the ones that I think I'll be able to take clones of and propagate a lot easier. So you can see the tomatoes and the hot peppers. So like I said, yeah, we've got a couple aloe plants inside, and that weird vine. I forget what that vine plant is. Someone might know. If you know what it is, make a comment in the comment section, please. Otherwise, that we're pretty simple inside. It's maybe the seed trays, and, from our garden bed inside, which isn't, doesn't work the best, but it still is managing to grow a grapevine in there. So that's what you saw. And honestly, this is, end of the day or middle of the day after chopping wood for a little while and getting everything prepared. This is what, I get to enjoy at the end of the day. Just getting to spray my seedlings and sitting back and watching them grow, as well as keeping myself warm and the plants warm. So that's where the rocket stove just comes in super nifty, with being able to take little wood and turn it into a lot of heat, which in turn Nika is able to cook on, while I get to watch her from one side or the other and look at my updates. So if you followed me this far in the video, I appreciate it. This is just a little update, on just why things are slow up here sometimes, why maybe it's not so much excitement. We maybe we don't live the most exciting life, but I guess to us there's a big sense of fulfillment in what we do and how we do things, and keeps our peace of mind. So definitely like and comment. Definitely subscribe to the channel and support us. This is the realities of off-grid life, unfiltered, you could say. Thanks. Peace.